What did your parents do the day you turned 18? They gave me a key to a storage unit and said, "Happy birthday. Go see what your real dad left you." I thought they were joking. My real dad died when I was 3 years, so I'd been told my whole life. Motorcycle accident, they said. Never talked about it much because it was too painful. But Mom's face was dead serious that morning, and my stepdad just nodded toward the door like he'd been waiting for this moment forever. The storage unit was across town in some sketchy neighborhood I'd never been to. I drove there with my hands shaking, kept checking the address on the crumpled paper Mom had given me. Unit 247. The key felt heavy in my pocket. When I got there, I almost turned around. The whole place looked abandoned, but I'd come this far, so I found the unit and slid the key in. The metal door rolled up with this horrible screeching sound, and inside was like stepping into someone else's life. A motorcycle sat in the Centera beautiful vintage Harley that looked like it had been maintained perfectly. Next to it was a guitar case, and along the walls were dozens of cardboard boxes, stacked neat and labeled by year. All of them had my name on them. I opened the nearest box. Inside were letters, hundreds of them, all addressed to me in handwriting I didn't recognize. The first one I grabbed was dated when I was 4 years old. "Happy 4th birthday, kiddo. I know you can't read this yet, but someday when you're old enough, I want you to know that Daddy thinks about you every single day. I got you a toy truck, but I can't give it to you right now. Maybe someday." My hands were shaking as I tore through more letters. 5th birthday, 6th, 7th, every birthday, every Christmas, every first day of school. This man had been writing to me for 15 years, and I had no idea he existed. I called Mom, screaming into the phone. "What the hell is this? Who is Michael Patterson? Why do I have hundreds of letters from someone who's supposed to be dead?" She was quiet for so long I thought she'd hung up. Then she started crying. "I'm so sorry, baby. I thought it was better this way. I thought you'd have a normal life." "Better than what? What are you talking about? Your father isn't dead. He's been in prison since you were 3. Drug charges, trafficking." I couldn't tell a 3-year-old that Daddy was in jail, so I said he died in an accident. And then years passed, and it seemed easier to just keep the lie going. I felt like I was going to throw up. "Prison? For 15 years? He got 25 years. But he's been writing you letters the whole time." I kept them all. I didn't know what else to do with them. When he heard you were turning 18, he arranged for that storage unit. He wanted you to have choices when you became an adult. I hung up and sat in that storage unit for 2 hours, reading letter after letter. He told me about learning to play guitar in prison, about the motorcycle he'd bought right before his arrest that he'd been saving for me. He wrote about missing my first steps, my first words, every milestone he'd never see. The last letter was dated 6 months ago. "I get out next week. I know you're almost 18. I bought you a bike for when you're ready to meet me. No pressure, but I'll be waiting." I looked at the date. He'd been out for months. I'd never ridden a motorcycle in my life, but something made me throw my leg over that Harley. It started on the first try, like it had been waiting for me. I rode it straight across town to Pine Street, wobbling and probably breaking every traffic law. There was an old man sitting on the porch of the blue house, and when he saw me pull up on his motorcycle, he stood up so fast he almost fell over. We just stared at each other for a minute. He looked exactly like the pictures Mom used to have before she put them all away. Older, grayer, but the same eyes. My eyes. "You look just like your mother," he said, his voice breaking. "But you ride like me." I turned off the bike and walked up to the porch. "I read your letters," I said. "All of them?" "All of them." He started crying then, and I realized I was crying too. "I'm sorry," he said. "I'm so sorry I wasn't there. I'm sorry you had to find out this way." I sat down on the porch swing next to him. "Tell me about the guitar," I said, and he did. We